any college campus, there's drinking going on, obviously.
But it's important to have safe drinking, practice safe drinking, know your limit, keep count of how many drinks you've had.
Like, a lot of people don't understand, not only are you going out and like having a good time, if you get too drunk, you put yourself in a bad situation.
Our house manager lives here, Ben Jenkins. He does a great job keeping everyone in check and keeping everyone safe. And if a problem does arise, it's taken care of right away and immediately.
Our main goals are to strive for the best man that we can possibly be.
Living in the house itself is a alcohol-free area, so none of the brothers are allowed to have alcohol or consume alcohol in the house.
Plain and simple, Phi Delta Theta is a dry fraternity.
We have dry events. We keep it very sociable. We don't need alcohol to make it a better place. We have great events. You have pig roasts, everything. Have a crab feast. It's much more fun doing that.
If you're down at the bar, if you're at a house party, not only is it dangerous if you're drunk, but it's dangerous if you're sober. And if you are drunk, might make you more likely to instigate or to get in a fight or something, or even if someone comes up to you and tries to fight you, you can't really think to run away. So not only is alcohol bad for your health, but it can also put you in dangerous situations.
Well, if you're drunk, it can lead to sexual assault, or it can lead to problems with the law, or anything like that.
Most people get aggressive and violent. Just keeping everyone safe.
You think you're fine one minute, and the next minute, you're blacked out drunk and doing stupid stuff that you would regret normally.
A lot of times kids end up in the hospital, and it's stuff that they don't see it coming at all, and it just get carried away here and there, and it just happens. You wake up in the hospital. It can be very bad.
Try to prevent this as much as possible. There are about 1,800 kids every year who die from alcohol-related incidents on campuses. So it is an issue and should be addressed.
Going back to even high school, I've had a couple friends that died in a drunk driving accident when I was in my junior year of high school.
So in the safety of our own brothers and the surrounding community that could be affected by one of our brothers drinking and driving, that is why we implement a sober brother driving rule, which 3 brothers for every party will be driving and shuttling people to and from.
One of the big things we do at our parties is have sober brothers and sober drivers, which I have seen firsthand has helped out. If people get a little too drunk, there's always a sober brother. Sometimes the bartender telling them, hey, relax, you can't do this, and that definitely helps us prevent issues.
Alcohol is dangerous in social situations because it's not you. It definitely affects you. It definitely affects how you act, and it holds no stock in how you should interact in society. As members of the Phi Delta Theta, we hold ourselves to a higher standard, and if alcohol and drugs are going to affect that standard, they should not be part of who we are.
40% of people in the U.S. have tried marijuana, and 30% of college students have tried it in the past 2 years.
At a college campus, you have a lot of kids who are selling marijuana, and it's very easy to get it. And that's a huge problem, because that can lead you into bad situations, get you down the wrong path. And I believe about 40% of Americans have said that they have tried weed or marijuana in their life.
I think Phi Delta does a great deal to keep drugs away from this fraternity.
Generally, our president is very adamant on keeping drugs out of the house. We always make sure they're out. We never have anybody selling drugs. That would just be absolutely terrible for the house and the university and Phi Delt in general.
Some people, have addictive personalities and take things way too far, and it's just not become, just a recreational use. It becomes a regular use.
62% of adults who used marijuana before the age of 15 ended up using cocaine.
For people who have never used marijuana, that number is 0.6%.
Marijuana is a gateway drug very easily. You start taking that and you're like, well, that wasn't so bad, and it can lead right into something else, like starting to take pills or moving on to harder drugs like cocaine or something like that.
I know a lot of kids don't really think of drug abuse as using prescription pills because they think, oh, it's given to a kid by a doctor, it's fine. And Adderall and Vyvanse are very common. I know if kids have a test, I always hear kids saying, oh, I need to get some Adderall to study for that. When that is drug abuse, because you're not prescribed for that.
Prescription drugs are meant for a specific purpose, to help those who are prescribed those drugs to get over whatever ailment or disability they have. They're not something to be abused. You should not be taking anything that you're not prescribed by a doctor for. It could have serious health effects and could cause addiction.
I would say my anti-drug is seeing people slip through the cracks.
160,000 students across America at different universities will drop out of college due to alcohol or drug use and abuse.
But that's once again what your brothers are here for, to say, hey, what's the point? And that's well the case. And it's kind of just having that second figure in your life that say, or you know, second, 20, 30, just say, hey, don't do that. It's not worth it. Or you can say, why are you going to do that in the first place? And you're going to say, well, you're right. There's no point.
Even though marijuana use is on the decline, every year 2.1 million new people try out marijuana, and it's clear that it's still an issue within the community.
So it is very prevalent on campus, and is something that should be monitored heavily and made sure that a drug culture does not increase here at the University of Maryland and college campuses in general.
If you'd like to learn more on how to prevent drug and alcohol use in your community, log on to www.umbphidelt.com.